So my brother runs a cabinet shop and a home renovation business in Winchester, Virginia. And he has an old mortiser that he can't get parts for anymore, and he's asked me to make him a collet. So there you can see what I'm talking about. This collet holds the drill shank of a mortising chisel. He has a collet, but it doesn't fit the size mortising chisel that he needs, so he needs me to make him another one of the proper size. It's 1.25 inches at the biggest dimension. The shaft up here is 3/4, and it has a flat milled on one side, a saw kerf down the middle, a through hole, and it's 2.5 inches tall. And I'm just going to make this out of mild steel. He thinks that's what the one he has is made out of. Well, I happen to have this 1.5 inch steel bar. Let's see if we can make a collet out of this. With that being such a big heavy bar, let's make sure that's going to spin okay. Let's spin it at 360. And how about 800? I think that's going to work. Alright, let's face it off. Alright, so now I'm going to center drill it so that I can put a center on this. Two and a half inches is my length. That's right there. So I just want to make sure that I go beyond that mark. Alright, so this is 1.5 inches. My widest dimension's 1.25 inches, so I need to take a 1/4 inch off of this. My first cut is going to be through all this rust, so I actually want it to be a pretty heavy cut. So let's see if we can do 40 thou. Got through all the rust, which you don't want to be skipping in and out of that rust. That really tears up your cutting edge. 1.466, and I need 1.250. So I got a ways to go. .275. Nice. So take 25 and we're good to go. Alright, let's see where we ended up. Uh-oh. 1.251. 1,000th over. We'll polish it up with some emery cloth. Yep. So 0.39 inches is the thickness of this shoulder. So that means the length of the shaft, this portion, the thinner portion, is going to be 2.5 inches minus 0.39 inches. So I need to find out that length, take the rest of that down to 3/4. Alright, so 2.110 is what I want. It's right there. So now what I'm going to do is set a dial indicator on my carriage. So that's going to be my final stop position when that indicator hits 0. And I'm going to rough it down to the 3/4 dimension and leave, you know, a fair gap there that I can then face off at the end to get it dead on. So now we're ready to take this portion down to 3/4. So I'm at 850 and I need 750. So I'm going to do another 50 pass. 798. So let's take off 23 and see if we can end up at 775. I'm at 778. So let me take off 13. We'll see how that goes. So I've got 765. So 10, 15. Did we hit it? 750 on the money. Okay, so I'm gonna come out here and take it all the way to the shoulder. Alright, so I'm going to drill this all the way to the chuck. That's a 3/16 hole because the bit that he's wanting to hold with this has a 3/16 shank. That's the problem, is the existing one that he has, the hole for the collet is too big. Basically he needs a 3/16 collet. He probably has a 1/4 inch or something. You're drilling a long hole like this with a small bit. You have to just take little pecks. You don't want those chips to bind up in the hole. It'll snap your bit off. So this is one of the few times in life where it's good to be a pecker. Now we need to part it off. Alright, now I want to face this off to 0.39 inches. And right now I've got 422. 396. And I want 390, so I only have 6 thou to come off. 390. I forgot to chamfer that corner, and that would be really challenging to, well, I mean, you can do it. It would be particularly challenging if I didn't have a hole in the center, but I do have a hole in the center. I can just put a center in there and then tighten the chuck, and I should be good right there. Now I can come up with my tool and chamfer the edge. I've got it set up over here in the mill. I have soft jaws using pieces of aluminum. I put a wavy parallel underneath it, but you can't rely on that to work for a round piece of round. So I put my dial indicator in there, and I've tapped it with the hammer until I got it running parallel, as you can see. We're on 0. Alright, so I need to make a flat. I know I need a 1/4 inch right here. So I'm going to take some marking die and mark that out, and I'll just do it visually. So a little blue die there. And scratch a mark there, and then I know where to go to. Now I've rotated the part 90 degrees in the vise, so the flat is up against the vise jaw, and I'm ready to drill a cross hole here. Now this hole is a 3/16 hole, and I just want to hold it a little bit off that shoulder so the bit doesn't rub. And it's not a critical dimension, so I'm just going to center punch so that I can use that to get my center drill in the right location. Right there, 0 my Y. Now, right there, 1.628. So I can come back up. Now I take that 1.628 and I half it, 0.814. There, I'm dead on center. I can lock the Y and drill the hole. Hit that position. That cross hole went through right beside the shoulder and came out right beside the shoulder. Pretty happy with that. So I have one more operation to do on this thing, and I don't really have the best tool for it, but I need to make a saw kerf that goes right down the center and out, and it needs to stay in the center on both sides. And the only thing I have that could do that would be an angle grinder, my portable bandsaw, or just a hacksaw. What I'm going to do is carefully mark it out and then just take my time on the portable bandsaw. Picture that he sent me shows that theirs isn't even, it's way off center, you can see right there. And it's all it is to give it some relief so that the thing can spring and tighten around the shank of the bit that they're putting in there. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. I know this isn't the best way to do this, but it's a way that I can do with my tools. So let's go over to the bandsaw and we'll cut it out. Well, I was worried about that, doing it with that method. The bandsaw wanted to wander several times, so I kept flipping it so that it didn't get too far out of hand, and it'll work, but it's a little uglier than I would have liked. So I'm just cleaning up the saw kerf with some emery cloth, which helped quite a bit. And I think we're good.
Puerto Rico, esta bomba yo la dedico a toda mi gente de Puerto Rico, a la familia Fontanet, allá en Cupeato.